Hey, thanks for visiting the NeuroLex website. I am Jim Schwabel, the CEO of NeuroLex. So I just wanted to quickly take you through NeuroLex's journey and how we might be able to add value to you. Over the past year, we've been approached by hundreds of organizations that have collected massive amounts of voice data, and they're trying to make sense of it. And if you're like them, you might have collected data on various devices like Zoom meetings, like this call, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or even things like call centers and mapped a lot of calls. And you're trying to make sense of this data and model it in some way. You might be trying to detect emotional things from calls, like whether a customer is upset to better route calls to various representatives. You might be a pharmaceutical company who is trying to make sense of the medical process and use voice as a diagnostic marker for depression and other diseases with labels like the PHQ-9. Or you might even be a car manufacturer looking to add a lot of this data into to your car. Whatever the reason, you're trying to make sense of your voice content, and I can say that NeuroLex is here to help. A lot of this data that is collected is very hard to extract, it's hard to label, and it's ultimately hard to model. And how we can help you is that we can automate the process for extracting, labeling, modeling, and ultimately monetizing the data sets that you curate and create. So at NeuroLex, we've created a framework to add services to your existing projects or to your existing phases. You might have been at one of these phases right now already. For example, you might be the phase of just collecting data now and trying to figure out how should I best create a new data set or collect a data set to solve my problem. Or you might be all the way at the end trying to monetize your data. Whatever your step in the process, we can add value in our company and in our research lab. So I'm going to take you through each of these steps just to give you an idea of how we can help you and how we can add value. So for collection, NeuroLex has actually created a product, SurveyLex, to automate the process for creating and deploying voice-enabled surveys. One of the biggest challenges we face in our lab is actually creating massive data sets ourselves within the healthcare space and other fields. And so you can actually use this product to get a lot of data, labeled data in your desired area. We highly encourage you to use our software platform. But if you don't use our platform, you can use any of the other assistants like Google Assistant, Amazon, or Siri to collect data. You can use open source data sets like this, or any of the traditional data sets that you might have already off Zoom and other things as well. Whatever your source of data, you can collect it and move on to the next phase, exporting it. So once you export it, it's time to label this data. We have people in our lab that have manually labeled big data sets before with things like environmental noise. Is it noisy or is it not noisy? You can use our lab to help you manually label and annotate, or even manually transcribe the audio to be 100% accurate. You can also use us to automatically label massive data sets. Say you have 1 million voice files, you might want to automatically label this data because it's just too costly to manually label. To this end, we have about 100 machine learning models to auto-label your data sets with things like ages, genders, ethnicities, emotions, like are you happy, are you sad, and many other things. So we think we can really add value to labeling efforts. With that being said, it's often necessary to clean data. You might have users, for example, use different microphones. I'm on a laptop right now, but sometimes people might speak to a phone, and the change of those microphones has a difference in modeling. Also, you might want to normalize the volume. For example, you might have data sets that have high volume or low volume so that they can be comparable, and eliminating noise, things like that. So we can manually clean your data for you and help you within our research lab with a lot of our research assistants. Similarly, if you have massive data sets, huge volumes of data, we can auto segment data to be clipped. I can say 20-second random intervals. We can remove the silence from all the files automatically. We can diarize and all sorts of things to separate out speakers in a long session automatically. And then also, just create control groups for you so that you can model this easily. So a lot of things we can do to help you clean your data. and make it ready for featurization and modeling. And also, we can help you model. Over the past year, our lab has built probably over 1,000 machine learning models. And we've worked with pretty much every major data set out there, from AudioSet and Google to the Common Voice project released by Mozilla Foundation, to custom curated data sets we've made ourselves, to YouTube data sets. We can help you model your data and get the most value out of it for whatever your problem you're trying to solve. We've created a software package called NeuroLex to help with this. All you need are 2 classes of files, of audio files. You put them through the API, and it'll auto-create and optimize a machine learning model that can be deployed with high availability and low latency on your server. We believe that this is a great, mindset to have, given how long it takes to typically build these models. We can create models in basically a day, that otherwise would take 6 months. Similarly, we look at modeling as either simple classification models under 1,000 samples. We use techniques like naive Bayes, gradient boost, data boost, and other techniques for classifying, and then deep learning techniques for over 1,000 samples in each class. We're now studying and implementing attention-based neural networks, for example, to get highly accurate models if you have a lot of data. And then once you do that, what you get is an output report of all the models tested and the performance and the embedding that works best. And then the last process is we have created a machine learning model marketplace for you to sell your models to third parties. We have about 100 partners that we've sort of talked to and engaged with to monetize these models. A lot of them want to buy raw data. Some of them want to buy models and deploy them actively. So if you create an awesome model with us, we can share revenue and really make a great win-win for both of us, so to speak. And so yeah, definitely check out some of our work down there. We believe that this is a growing area and how you might be able to also monetize your data. In terms of pricing, we look at sort of working with people on a on-demand basis that kind of leads to a long-term engagement. We have a lot of things that we've priced out as either automated methods that are API calls versus, say, manual things that are hourly rates based on people in our lab and their typical rates. So just talk with us, schedule a meeting. I'd love to learn more about your problems and how we can add value. We're very excited to talk to you, solve problems, and really work with you to do what you want to do. So again, I'm Jim Schwabel, the CEO of NeuroLex. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm very excited for working with you, and thanks so much for visiting our site.